Hello everyone, welcome to a new video of On Sale Only. There's a lot of things on sale this week, so let's get started. So first off, we have Polygon-Apocalypse Pack. This is honestly going to be the best deal you'll get today, so keep that in mind. It's just for today, it's a daily deal, 70% off, and it's honestly a really good pack from Synty Studios. You'll get a lot in return. It contains a lot of assets, and it actually contains a lot of road assets as well, which I really do like. So a lot of pavements. It will fit any apocalypse type theme, but not just that. I mean, it can be used for so many different purposes. I would definitely recommend it if this is the visual style you're going for. And yeah, like I said before, 70% off is just a great deal. So the next couple of assets don't really need introduction. I've used them in most videos. So Game Creator Core, Stats, Inventory, Shooter, Quests, and Dialogue are all 50% off. So if you're still missing out on some of these modules, this is definitely your chance to pick one up. I've used Game Creator in most of my videos really, so I don't think I need to explain that much about it, but it's definitely the best high-end visual scripting tool out there. In my opinion, it's the best visual scripting tool for Unity as well in general. It is a bit different, which makes it actually a lot easier to use than most of the others because it doesn't use the traditional node system. It's all just actions, triggers, and conditions, which makes it incredibly simple. There's no tool that makes it easier to actually start creating your game. So I'd recommend all of this really. Next up we have VR Interaction Framework, and this is so far the best VR toolkit out there. Honestly, it's incredibly complete, contains weapons, snap points, amazing physics interaction, especially after the last couple of updates. It also supports Final IK for having full body models in there. And if you'd actually check SideQuest, for example, you'll see a lot of games already being made with VR Interaction Framework. It is definitely the best VR tool for Unity out there. So if you are looking to develop for VR, definitely give this a go. RayFire is an absolutely amazing destruction tool. It's also 50% off, and yes, the price might still seem steep, but it honestly is the best right now. So I don't really know what it is with destruction, physics, assets, and their strange names, because just by the name itself, I would never really guess what it is. But RayFire is meant for destruction, and what makes it interesting is that it's capable of a lot more than just the basics. So yes, you can fracture everything, you can pre-fracture it, save it, or do everything in real time. However, it also allows you to calculate mass of objects, so you don't actually need to put mesh renderers or rigid bodies on there. It's all done by the asset itself. Choosing the type of um, element it would be, so concrete, wood, it will recalculate mass, which is pretty cool. It's actually really interesting. Also does it based on the size of the object, so that's nice. But the destruction is also changed accordingly, so with wood it will actually splinter, for example. And one of the best things it has as well is the ability to slice objects in real time. So if you've ever played Metal Gear Rising, for example, that's what you can actually do with this asset. Obviously, I already own this asset, that's why I'm pretty excited about it. I'm using it in VR myself, as it is actually really good for VR games, as it allows for a lot of interaction, like slicing, for example. So even though the price might still seem steep, I would definitely recommend this to anyone that wants to have good physics when it comes to destruction, and honestly just one of the best tools out there. Umotion Pro is another one of those assets that I've already used several times in videos and would recommend to anyone. It allows you to edit animations inside of Unity, but also completely create new animations from scratch, which makes it really interesting. The great thing about it is obviously that you can test these animations straight away inside of your game, as it all takes place inside of your normal scene. Umotion Pro also supports inverse kinematics as well as forward kinematics, so both areas are covered, and it even allows you to modify existing forward kinematics animations, for example, to inverse kinematics, which is really useful if you want to do any of those things. So yes, would recommend this to anyone creating any type of game really, as this can always be really useful. A lot of Amplify assets are on sale as well, so we have the bundle that includes shader editor, imposters, and the LUT pack all in one, which already saves you quite a bit, which is 50% off, but we also have imposters and shader editor completely separate. Amplify imposters allows you to replace meshes with imposters, and these imposters are basically sort of cardboard versions, and they look incredibly good, they look incredibly detailed, but because they're not actual meshes, they will save you a lot in terms of performance. So definitely a really useful tool. It can be used as a simple LOD as well. You don't have to use it completely separately, but you could actually use it to completely replace meshes for distance objects you never even get close to, if that's something you'd like to do. So yeah, it's definitely a really useful tool in terms of performance. Now, shader editor is something that most people most likely will have already used or at least seen, and it allows you to create shaders in a visual manner. So no coding, no scripting, none of that, completely visual. And it can work standalone for default render pipeline, URP, and HDRP, or you can use it as a plugin for shader graph as well. However, shader graph is only available for URP and HDRP users. Now, Amplify is a lot more powerful, and it has been on the market quite a bit longer as well, so that's definitely something to keep in mind. It will allow you to do a lot more than shader graph will do right now. So really incredibly useful. As I am using default render pipeline for quite a lot of projects, I'm using it by default anyway. So definitely check this out. Procedural Worlds is also having a massive sale, and pretty much all of their assets are on sale right now. They are most known for Gaia 2 and Gaia Pro, obviously, which are incredibly powerful terrain tools. Especially Gaia Pro is incredibly complete. It's basically a starter kit that will allow you to create, well, pretty much any type of terrain without the need of additional assets. Gaia 2 is a more lightweight version, which is mostly focused on the tool itself, but doesn't really contain that many assets, which is completely normal considering its much lower price. CTS is another really popular tool. It's a terrain shader tool which allows you to create terrain shaders, obviously, for your maps. And it looks really good. It supports tessellation, wetness, all of the things you would need for a really realistic type of terrain. And there's a lot of other assets on sale from Procedural Worlds as well. So we have Gena 2, which is a terrain and scene spawner, another really powerful tool, and Pegasus, and even more, and they all work really well together. Procedural Worlds is really focused on making sure all of their assets work really well in combination with each other. So definitely worth checking out if you are interested in creating terrain for your game. Next up, we have the Obi assets on sale, and I'm sure you've seen some of them already in the store. So we have Obi Cloth, Fluid, Rope, and Softbody, and basically these are all assets for physics. So trying to simulate fabric physics, fluids, rope, and soft bodies. Now, some of these can actually be really intensive when it comes to performance, especially fluids, for example. So if you are only developing mobile games, I would definitely really check these before just simply buying them, as they can be performance intensive. When it comes to Obi cloth, one of the great advantages here is that it also allows you to rip off the cloth, etc. So it doesn't just simulate fabric, it allows for interaction with fabric as well. Same goes for soft body, fluids, and rope. So if you're interested in physics for any type of game you're creating, these are definitely worth looking into. Just keep performance in mind. So next up we have a ton of animation packs, and instead of addressing all of these separately, which would make this video take 2 hours, I'm just going to highlight a couple of the big ones here. I know there's a lot more, but these are really worth mentioning. So Kevin Iglesias has his Mega Animations Pack bundle and Basic Motions Pro Pack on sale. And these include tons of animations which look really good for polygon type character models. If you are going for a more realistic style, I would actually head over to Kubold Animations. Kubold Animations has a ton of quality animations, from sword fighting to rifle, cover mechanics, to survival animations. Honestly, Kubold is great quality. You'll pay a bit more, but this is more for the realistic type of game. Then we have Frank Climax as well, which is again really popular for the fighting mechanics. Frank Climax animations are a bit more over the top, so think Devil May Cry, for example. And one of the highlights here is definitely his 7 asset pack, which is only $30 right now and includes a ton of packs that he has, available separately as well. So definitely worth looking into. I know there's a ton more out there when it comes to animations, but I just can't highlight them all. Now, obviously, this wouldn't be a sale without the Synty Polygon packs, and pretty much all of them are on sale right now, 50% off. Just the newest one isn't on sale, I think. And, obviously, this is a type of style that needs to fit your game. There's no debating the quality of these assets, they're absolutely amazing. The nice thing here is that they cover pretty much any type of time period you could think of as well. So medieval, feudal era Japan, current military packs, World War I or II, space, sci-fi, it's all in there. If you've missed out on previous sales, because they're on sale quite often, it's definitely worth checking out right now. So yeah, if this is what you're going for, I would definitely recommend these assets. And staying in the same realm of 3D models, we also have Kitbash 3D, and yet again, pretty much all packs are on sale 50% off. So Kitbash is the equivalent of Synty, but then for realistic models. That's one way to look at it anyway. So we're going for a completely realistic style for either built-in or HCRP. And again, different time period, different settings. We have modern day settings, we have futuristic settings, historical settings, and the quality is absolutely amazing. Now, these are only buildings, etc., so don't think these include character models as well, which is one major difference. But the quality honestly is astounding, so definitely worth looking into if you are going for a more realistic type of game. So Fantastic City Generator is a different type of asset. Yes, it falls in the category of 3D models, but as you can see by the price, it indicates that there's something more to this. Basically what this asset does, it creates a city for you, completely generated, buildings, roads, even vehicles are included with just a couple of clicks. And this actually includes a traffic system. So a completely different type of 3D model asset, but definitely interesting if you don't want to spend a lot of time creating a city, but you do actually want to have a city, traffic, everything included. So definitely have a look at this if you are trying to create something similar. Obviously there's a lot more on sale and I can't cover everything, so check the links in the description and I'll see you in the next one.